So, welcome to another New York Mets episode. We're at week five of the 2017 season, and admittedly, this week was kind of boring compared to the the last week's drama and the injuries and the stuff that's been going on for the last 2 weeks. The losing streak, and the Mets pretty much hitting rock bottom, but the injuries to Cespedes, and then now Noah Syndergaard, and of course last Sunday's demoralizing loss, 23-5 to the Nationals. This week had a little bit of everything, rain, but have no fear. The Dark Knight saved the day. Should I say saved the week? The big story, Sunday, May 7th in New York. The Mets announced they suspended Matt Harvey without pay for 3 days. And of course, the reporters and the media, they don't know nothing. At least they weren't told anything. They're not going to tell them specifics, but the official press line from the Mets is that he violated, he was suspended 3 days without pay for a violation of team rules. And usually, what that means, of course, I'm not saying I'm 100% right. He probably missed a workout, maybe not missed a workout. He's probably late to a workout, and he messed up again. And we're going to be talking about this in the next few minutes. Pretty much, Matt Harvey's made himself the focus of attention in New York. He's made himself the lightning rod. Maybe that's a good thing for the Mets. Takes a lot of pressure off the team, off the players. So, in a way, Matt Harvey is taking one for the team. But according to Anthony DeComo, MLB.com Mets beat writer, he said this apparently has been brewing for a few days, and that the Mets were prepared for this, and that they brought up Adam Milk from AAA Las Vegas so he could start in place of Matt Harvey Sunday against the Marlins. And of course, Sandy Olson, who held the press conference, an impromptu press conference. He didn't tell anybody anything. He didn't say the infraction. They keep it in house. All this is said that only Harvey was sent home, and that his suspension actually started Sunday. I mean, who could you believe on this in this organization? You see their track record and their MO with the injuries. But like I said, and then Collins, his quotes are becoming my favorites. Comedy relief. He said, in order to be able to control things, you've got to sometimes make tough decisions, and this is one of them. A tough decision like when you suggest or recommend to your star pitcher to go get an MRI on his pitching arm because he's complaining of a biceps and discomfort in his biceps, and that pitcher refuses, and you're like, okay, all right, he refuses. Or I don't know, when you're a star everyday player has to leave the game because of a cramp and discomfort in his hamstring, and he says, "Oh, I'm okay to play," and 3 days later he's out again because it was a different part of his hamstring. But he's Jonas Cespedes said he could play, so we made him play. We can't make tough decisions. But they decided on this one to do it. And then I had to hear a comment from a Met fan. I don't know if he was serious, but it sounded serious. He said, Sandy Alderson needs to grow up. He cost his team a sweep. I mean, come on, are you serious? Are you going to blame the general manager of the team for suspending because Matt Harvey fucked up again? Well, what should they have done? Make him pitch and set a double standard where he's allowed to be a habitual rule breaker and not get punished, so that could cause dissension among the team and players could start looking at him sideways. No, come on, stop thinking like a fan. It's only one game that he misses anyway. So, and then, like I said, this hasn't been the first time. Yeah, so how quick people's memories are today. They don't forget 2 years ago when Matt Harvey missed a mandatory pre-playoff workout. What was reported hours after sources say he downed a couple of cocktails with wine, cocktails and wine with friends. And of course, you remember that? Don't you remember that blunder? The red-faced Matt Harvey. He said, "I screwed up. Uh, Obviously, today was not the greatest." He told the reporters as the team workout wound down. "I told everybody and apologized to everybody and told them it's not going to happen again. It never happened before. Unfortunately, it happened at a bad time, a mandatory time. I just screwed up." I mean, come on. Matt Harvey, he said he wanted to emulate Derek Jeter. He idolized Derek Jeter. He wanted to be the toast of the town. He wanted to get the girls like Derek Jeter. But the difference is Derek Jeter never had this happen. He never had that happen to him. I mean, if he did, it might have been a one-off thing, and the Yankees really buried it. But come on, one decent season or two decent seasons in the major leagues doesn't give you that privilege. Derek Jeter's won a few rings. And then a source told, remember the waiter, the source from the Morrison room where Harvey was watching Monday Night Football with his friends, and they munched on chicken wings and popcorn. Yeah, that's right. Keep eating those chicken wings and popcorn shrimp, Matt. That's really good for your waist. And the employee said he had a couple of cocktails and a couple of glasses of wine. He wasn't drunk or anything. He was out of there by 11 p.m. He was with a bunch of dudes. He's a really nice guy. I think he probably just missed his alarm. Oh, yeah, sure. We'll take your word for it, anonymous waiter, who I'm sure Matt Harvey's a good tipper. I mean, come on. He's not going to, this waiter's not going to throw Matt Harvey under the bus. Matt Harvey probably goes there all the time, and he knows him. So he's a good, that waiter probably relies on Matt Harvey to pay his rent from the tips he gets from him, probably. Yeah, that situation caused a whole big mess, and people forget. Remember, and then in 2015, when September started, remember him and his agent Scott Boras? They said, "Oh, we're gonna have to shut Matt Harvey down for the rest of the year because he's coming close to his inning limits because he had Tommy John surgery the year before." The Mets are going for the World Series. They're making the playoffs, and these guys are talking about shutting him down. And they quickly did an about face because, let me tell you, Matt Harvey would have never ever been looked at straight in the eye again from anybody in that locker room. But that's when Matt Harvey had $200 million, a $200 million contract dancing in his head, him and his agent. And Then remember all those excuses, Collins. Oh, I got the message. He was stuck in traffic. Now was someone coming for him? I don't know, and I don't care. It's done, and it's taken care of. It's over. They rushed it under the rug. I'm gonna tell you what. I don't know where he was. Pitcher coach Dan Warren came to me and he said, "We just got a call from Harvey." Now who's we? We just got a call. I don't know who it was. We just got a call from Harvey. He's stuck in traffic. End of the story. I don't know where he was. Okay. He probably was in between a couple of sexy legs. Oh, and then you remember last year, 2016, the beginning of 2016, when he showed up in spring training with that mysterious ailment. Remember? When they didn't know what was wrong with him. He had to leave the team to seek medical treatment. He had a undisclosed medical procedure, and then he came out and said they said it was a blood clot. Then it was a bladder infection, and Matt Harvey told reporters, "I guess the main issue is I hold my urine in for too long instead of peeing regularly." Matt Harvey said, laughing on Tuesday, explaining the cause of his bladder infection. Come on, I said it in one of my videos last year. Bladder infection. Matt, maybe you should start wearing a condom with some of your lady friends. I mean, listen, I'm just, I'm speculating. I'm not saying anything is true or that I know anything. But come on, man. Listen, you gotta use common sense. Why would they make it such a mystery? A blood clot. First they didn't know what it was. First they didn't talk, then they didn't talk about it. Then it was a blood clot. Then it was a bladder infection. And then he jokes around about it. His urine, he holds in his urine for too long. Who holds in their urine on a regular basis for too long? Come on. Maybe I could read between the lines. Well, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but come on. And then remember, he gained weight a little bit. You could see it. He clearly gained weight in early 2016. He was getting lit up, and then remember every other start. What's wrong with Matt Harvey? What's wrong with the Dark Knight? He would tell reporters, "Oh, I feel great. Everything is great. Everything's great." Terry Collins, "Oh yeah, he feels great. He feels great. Everything's great." And then what happened? He had to have a major surgery done to remove a rib because it was compressing a nerve. He feels great. He feels great. Everything was great. Listen, go back again. I'm not. I always want to. I'm not patting myself on the back. Go back to last week or a couple weeks ago. I said the Mets have three aces: Syndergaard, DeGrom, and Harvey. There's a good chance they're not going to keep. A very good chance they're not going to keep all three because they can't afford all three. And with Mats, they have Mats and Wheeler hopefully coming up and coming to fill those slots. So who do you think is going to be the odd man out? Who would you take? Who would you leave out? And that was last week that I said that. And now after this, oh yeah, he's been getting lit up in his last two starts, if not three. He's given a very bad sign. Maybe it's not a bad sign. He's giving up a lot home runs quite frequently, and not to the usual sluggers, to like the lesser known players, the average players. That's a telltale sign when average hitters are teeing off on you. Maybe it's just like he says, it's location. They say his velocity is up, and we'll talk about that. But and then like I said, see, and then you have writers like Buster Only from ESPN. He did an article that he compared Matt Harvey to past players who were bright stars in New York. Dwight Gooden, who Matt Harvey's been compared to. Jeremy Lin, and those players faded out real fast. And Matt Harvey's not he's not a rookie anymore. He's not a young player anymore. He's 28, and he's in the fall of 2018. He's gonna be a free agent. He's gonna be 29, headed into his 30s. Like I said, he's. I said it last year. He could forget that $200 million contract. I mean, he is so fortunate and lucky to become that medical science is what it is today. That he could have Tommy John surgeries and thoracic nerve compression surgeries, whatever the hell he had to remove a rib, and come back and still be able to throw an 86. You know, maybe 10 years ago, maybe his career would have been over. You know, he's got a third chance, fourth chance, and you know that's not the way to thank the baseball gods. So other than that, I mean, this week it actually shaped up to be a pretty good week for the Mets. Listen, with all between the 23-5 loss, the injuries, and now the Matt Harvey drama. Listen, the Mets, before they lost 23-5, they went into Washington and won 2 games in a row. They beat the Nationals' 2 best pitchers, the 2 of the best pitchers in the game. You know, then they had that hiccup on Sunday. I think, in hindsight, that loss, of course, was magnified and really stung because we lost Syndergaard. I mean, but besides that, I mean, listen, they did pretty well this week. You, they started against Atlanta with a 7-5 win. Conforto, 2 for 4. He had a 7th home run in the first inning, 3 RBIs. Reyes has found his bat all of a sudden, and the Mets started May in a positive fashion. And Terry Collins said it was very important. Of course, I'm not gonna yell and say Terry Collins is stating the obvious, but come on, of course, it was rebound, it was resiliency, and that's what the Mets have shown this week and in the past, resiliency, and they pulled off a couple of gutsy wins this week. And Collins went on to say, yesterday was an ugly, ugly day. The injury was bigger than the score of the game for me. Of course, again, it's Captain Obvious. It just goes to show you it's only one game and you got to move on. Of course, in the major leagues, you play under 60 games. You can't. You have to have a short memory. Take away the injury to Noah Syndergaard. Blowout games like that, in baseball, they used to be called laughers. You laugh about it. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It happens. It's the major leagues. You're gonna get mercied once in a blue moon. Even it happens to the best teams. So, but getting back to Syndergaard, they placed him on the 10-day DL with a partial tear of his right lat muscle. And they said, 10 days is he coming back in 2 weeks? No. That's just the procedure they did. The Mets doing that procedure. They put him on the 10-day DL where he could get MRIs and they could evaluate him and make a proper diagnosis. But expect him after the 10 days are up. The Mets are going to place him on the 60-day DL, and then they go from there. Then they could keep him on there after the 60 days are up, which would make it a total of 70. So that means 60 games. That would, let's just say, round it off, he at the earliest, he would be eligible to come off the DL after the All-Star break. But, don't forget, he's got to go to the rehab, minor league starts, and that's if that at the earliest. Like I said, figure, I think best case scenario, late August, early September. If not, 2018. But Gieselman almost blew a 6-1 lead. Like I said, he's a 23-year-old kid. He's going out there. At least he's getting some innings, but he doesn't. I mean, now I guess he has. They have no choice but to keep putting him out there every 5 days. But at least he's getting some experience. And then the next day, the Mets lost 9-7. It was a little ugly game. R.A. Dickey, ex-Met pitcher, did it to the Mets again, beating Matt Harvey. And Harvey at 2-2 gave up 6 runs against a second straight start against Atlanta. See, that's what I mean. Atlanta's a pretty terrible team, and Matt Harvey's getting rocked by them. He allowed eight hits with 3 walks and 5 1/3. It left him with a 5.14 ERA. See, but they report that he was throwing his fastball at 95 and 96 towards the end when he came out of the game at 100 pitches. So, and he said, Matt Harvey, today was the best I felt in a long time, and the ball was coming out better than it had for a few years. Okay, if that's true, then okay, that's really good. And like I mentioned before, he says, I just have to locate. It's fine tuning that. The velocity was there the whole time, and I was able to repeat things the right way. Okay, so if he's telling the truth and he's being honest and upfront, what that means is he's saying he's got his velocity, but he's gonna have to work on his mechanics, which is very, very fixable. And the next day, the Mets closed out Atlantis. They routed Atlanta 16-5. And all of a sudden, we're seeing the Mets put up a whole bunch of runs. How come they couldn't do that when Cespedes was there? But honestly, I think the Mets need this Mets team. They need that catalyst in Cespedes. Now it's Bruce. Bruce is on fire right now. He's carrying the Mets with 6 RBIs. This is the Jay Bruce the Mets traded for from the Cincinnati Reds, who was a perennial National League RBI leader. And Collins went on to say you're starting to see better at bats, better pitch selection. That's the big difference right now. Okay, well, why couldn't they do that in April? Another one slight negative, DeGrom, who's been pitching really good, really great. He had double-digit strikeouts 3 games in a row. Of course, no run support. He was frustrated. He walked 5 guys, but listen, he's too good to do that, to repeat that. But the Mets crushed ex-Met Bartolo Colon. He's 43. God bless him. And the next night, the Mets rained out. And let me tell you, rainouts in baseball really suck when you're hitting good, when you're hot. You don't want any rainouts. Excuse me. So then the Mets welcomed Miami, who have been a thorn on their side, but Miami now, after a strong, hot start to the season, they're really sinking fast. And another win for the Mets. It's good signs. But just when you think everything's pretty good, you see a glimmer of sunshine. The Mets placed catcher Travis d'Arnaud again. This I said it in last week's episode that I really feel that if he could stay healthy, he could be a future All-Star. But that's a big if. It looks like this guy, he sneezes and he goes on the DL. But in this game, the Mets came back. It was a really gutsy win. They were trailing 7-1 when Miami scored 6 times and 2 outs in the 4th. But the Mets came back. It was a gutsy win. They scored 5 in the bottom of the 7th. I mean, these are the wins. These are the wins they should have had in the first 2 weeks, the first 3 weeks of April. But I guess you can't ask for it all. So now you might be asking, who's that young man on the top right? Well, another injury. Cabrera, the shortstop, he dove for a ball in the hole and he landed on his left thumb, and he immediately grimaced in pain. That could be probably at best a sprained thumb, or at worst he may have torn ligaments. They're going to send him for the RBI, and with that now they're going to bring up the young man in the top right. His name is Ahmed Rosario. He's the Mets prize prospect right now. Jose Reyes, those are his quotes you see in front of you. He says, I got an opportunity to play with him last year in the minor leagues and this year in spring training. I think the guy, he's ready. He plays the game so relaxed. We want to see that here, meaning in the major leagues. He's going to be fine, I think, because he knows what he can do and his talent is going to take over. It kind of reminds you of a young Jose Reyes, right? But Collins chipped in. He said, with Cess out and now a caveat, we got to spread the wealth around and we got to get every chip. All right, relax, Terry Collins. The wealth. You're lucky you had just wait until next week when the competition gets a little stiffer. We'll see how many hits and runs the Mets get. But good signs this week. Good signs, very good signs. And of course, yesterday, to end the week, the Mets, Harvey start where he was suspended. The Mets got blanked 7-0. Giancarlo Stanton feasted on Wilkes. What are you gonna do? I mean, but outside of that, the Mets went 4-2 this week. They might have went 5-2. One of their games was postponed. It was an unofficial game where they were leading 3-1. I'm not saying they were going to win, but 4-2, and you put the last series with the Nationals at 2-1. That's 6-3 in the last 9 games, with all the injuries and all the garbage and drama. Now, if you're a Met fan, I'm just going to leave you off with this. Listen, don't get too happy. Again, the Mets aren't playing top-notch competition, as I've been saying all along in these last few videos. The competition is going to get tougher. Okay, at least the Mets didn't sink. They're staying afloat. They're 14-6, 14-16. So hopefully, through injuries, maybe this kid Ahmed Rosario could do something, surprise the hell out of everybody. And who knows? Maybe if we can hang. If the Mets could stay at 500, get to 500 to the All-Star break, who knows? Who knows? Like I said, the National League is not that strong. But I guess that'll do it. I want to thank all the views and subscribers. Please, if you're not a subscriber and you like this video, subscribe. And in a couple weeks, I'm gonna get back to making a WWE video. I've been a little busy. So, all right. So, thank you. Now, I'll see you next week.